So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at a very cool, somewhat quirky, and pretty hard to find, at least here in the US, refill from Pilot called the BRF-25-BB. In the past, we've looked at the BRFN 30 and the BRFN 10, but this is the BRF 20. Anything with the N after it is going to use acro hybrid ink. This is using a standard ballpoint ink. In keeping with using a standard ballpoint ink, this is sold only as the BRF-25B, which is a 1.2 millimeter ball, and then this one, which is the BRF-25BB, which is a super thick 1.6 millimeter ball. And only a kind of a standard ballpoint would be sold in a 1.6 millimeter, generally speaking. It's the other B after it means it's sold in black. These refills are not sold in blue, just black. And they're only sold in the 1.2 and the 1.5 millimeter. 1.6 millimeter. This is a 250 yen refill, so street price around $250. And there's not too much else to see here. So this refill is kind of almost looks like a Parker G2 style, but it's shorter. And it's a proprietary refill used by Pilot. And you would find this in something like a Pilot S20, Pilot Legno, or primarily you would see it in a Dr. Grip. And that's where people are generally seeing that BRFN 10 or the BRFN 30. The BRFN 30 and also this size are also seen in Pilot's higher end refills. So if you were to get something like Custom 74, this is obviously a fountain pen, but a Custom 74 ballpoint or a Custom Heritage ballpoint, it would use a refill in this size. Like I said, this is the BRF, which means it's a standard ballpoint ink, which is an oil-based ink. Anything with an N after it will be a hybrid ink. So that's kind of the big difference between this BRF and something like the BRFN 30, which we've talked about in the past. And I have one of those right here. So this is the 1.0 millimeter BRFN 30M. This is the widest size that the BRFN is sold in. So you can see the contours of the two are exactly the same. The bodies are the same. It's just that the BRFN uses the hybrid ink and the BRF uses ballpoint. So that pretty much covers the basic information, and we'll get into the writing. I'm gonna put it in this Legno. This came with a BRFN 10, which is this sort of plastic bodied refill that you would see in a Pilot Dr. Grip. So this is the Pilot BRF-25BB. It's a 1.6 millimeter black ballpoint. Smooth, nice writer. Definitely has a sort of ballpoint feel to it. But it is nice and smooth in the way that a modern ballpoint should be. Now let's look at it next to the BRFN 30. This is a 1.0 millimeter, obviously black, and this is a hybrid. Pilot calls it an oil-based ink, but really it's a hybrid, and we know that because they also say it's an acro ink, and the acro is their hybrid series. So you can see the hybrid ink, it has more of a gel type look to it, not nearly as thick as the 1.6 millimeter. This one got a little bit of smudginess just from me being left-handed. The gel tends to be cleaner lines, but not as versatile on all surfaces as a ballpoint. This one's, like I said, a little smudgy, a lot thicker, and that ink doesn't quite pop as much. It sort of sits on the paper more than a hybrid or a gel, which will sink into the paper a little bit more. And this might even have, I guess all the smudginess is gone, so that's good. But that sort of smudginess can stick around for a little while with a ballpoint. Both are smooth. I would definitely say that the BRFN is smoother and that has more feedback to it, although it's smooth enough that it doesn't really have much feedback. This one will start to glob a little bit, and that's just because it's a 1.0 millimeter, and you could probably see some of it on the pen there. Plus you could also see some collection right around here where it sort of blobs up a little bit, and that happens with hybrid and gel inks. That's really not as much of an issue with the ballpoint, but with the ballpoint, again, it will smudge, and it is that very thick line. So I think that should cover most of it. Really what you're getting with the BRF-25B or the BRF-25-BB is a really well-behaved, fun to use, smooth ballpoint in a sort of classic oil-based ballpoint ink. When you move over to the BRFN, you have more variety in sizes. This could be an extra fine, a fine, or a medium. It doesn't go wider than the medium, the 1.0 millimeter. This one goes in a 1.2 and a 1.6, nothing smaller than that. I would recommend the BRFN for long periods of writing when you're writing on paper. And then the BRF, the ballpoint, in sort of all-round conditions where you don't know what you're going to write on. You want something that could write all over the place, including on smooth surfaces like magazines, or in the case that you just prefer a ballpoint ink over a gel. Both are great, and both are about the same price. The BRFN might be a little bit more money, but there you have it. Between the two, I really do prefer the BRFN in that acro ink. It's really quite good. One of my favorites, and pairing it with a great pen like the S20, and you really have a winner on your hands. So that about covers it. Thanks for watching.